Be not afeard. The isle is full of noises, sounds, and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about mine ears, and sometimes voices. No, that wasn't me. That's Shakespeare in The Tempest, believe it or not. And when I hear that, it makes me think of the island during Craiceann week. Obviously, the people who are here for the first time haven't got a clue who I am, and the others have some idea. I first came to Craiceann in 2013. I hadn't a clue about what went on. I knew nobody. I knew nothing. In some ways they say ignorance is bliss. Well, I'll tell you, for me, that week was bliss. I was blown away. It was the most wonderful experience I had. Now, one tries to sort of capture the essence of a particular experience. And I sometimes think, if you could bottle the essence of Craiceann week, Jesus, you'd be in business, you know. I've always dabbled a little bit in writing, so my way of response to hang on to it was to write a poem about it. And Michal kindly invited me to read the poem the following year because I couldn't wait to come back, you see, like so many. And then there was one the year after that, and the one the year after that, and it went on, and it was very flattering, kind of it being expected, you know, so it became sort of kind of a tradition. And sort of, you're writing about the island and the people and the music and those three things, it's a magical mix. And sometimes it's not always easy finding different ways to, I suppose, essentially say the same thing. But you're looking forward to Craiceann. And I was thinking, it's kind of, and I'm sure it is for some of you here, like a child waiting for Christmas. And actually Christmas, yeah, and Christmas was an important point because Christmas was actually the midpoint between the two Craiceanns, you see. And then I started comparing them. And a few years ago, sort of thinking about that, it gave me a kind of different angle on Craiceann. And I came up with a poem called Season's Greetings. Now, I hope it doesn't disorientate you too much. But the poem went thus. Craiceann is now the new Christmas, just without dear old Santa Claus. The days we will count when departing till we will all return here because of our year. This is the real highlight. A week-long grand grave in Junetide that beats that big bash in December and makes us all cosy inside. We don't decorate here with tinsel, but do it with music in style. We'll hang the tunes up on the airwaves and drape our songs right round the aisle. Forget the mulled wine, we'll have Guinness. The Yule log's best left in the tin, and that cranberry sauce is a no-no. Best scrape it all into the bin. A clear night might bring the aurora, cavorting in the Arctic sky. Better by far than a Christmas tree star or the best fairy light you can buy. Christmas is a bit overrated. It costs a small fortune. It's mad. But Craiceann here stands head and shoulders above, and there's more festive fun to be had. Although we can still enjoy Christmas, its real purpose now is to mark the halfway point up to next Craiceann, that flashing light in winter's dark. It's then that grown-ups go all silly and start thinking how many sleeps until it's time for the next Craiceann. And some even need to count sheeps. Yes, Craiceann is now the new Christmas. I hope that there's nothing I've missed. It's time to enjoy and make merry. Think Christmas and maybe get slightly inebriated. Now, I'm sure we all have our different reactions to Craiceann and what it's like coming here, because certainly for me, and I know for a lot of people, it is a very special week on this little island where there's so much joy and pleasure and harmony, when out there we have a world spiralling into madness, you know. And it's got a kind of spiritual dimension. And you're thinking about sort of the Muslim Hajj to Mecca, or those pilgrims going across on the Camino across northern Spain to Santiago de Compostela. So I ended up with my poem for this year simply called Pilgrimage. The world spins unrelenting, yearly orbiting our sun, until a time we hope to cherish comes around, and when those pleasurable thoughts arise and start to coalesce, transport us to some special place of sanctuary again. From near and far away, as pilgrims to some mystic shrine, we come to share a special week on Aran's Inisheer. With friends of old, with ones we have new planted on the isle, and those we have not really seen or laughed with since last year. To venture once more to the well that is this gentle isle, and drink deep of its ambience to ease a restless mind. To slake the yearly thirst here for the ever-cliched crack that bubbles in this brief oasis of a yearly grind. 'Tis the music that invites us, charms us with a pull so strong, broadcasting to the world a homing signal clear, where the humble drum establishes its own hypnotic beat to rule the airwaves of the island everyone can hear. The Bodhrán is the heartbeat, and our hearts beat strongly here. The power of both to shape our lives and help our world go round is why we look to journey back when we have travelled home, as pilgrims to this pleasant place, perhaps our holy ground.